But I do also know that you have another story when it comes to your husband.
Yes.
Would you mind sharing that with
Oh yeah, I
us?
can. I can. In fact, because of what I had been through with my father, I remember when my kids were growing up, I used to tell them that those people who are laughing with you, should the unexpected happens,
Yeah.
you would see, you know, a side of them that you'll be shocked. I kept telling them, but I think they thought I was joking until this
Yeah.
happened. So when their father passed, and to the extent that he passed in May, and one of his sisters said she had shipped, she was living outside. She had shipped things. She was actually coming home on vacation.
Okay.
Before that she has shipped her things, and that her things were arriving in September, so the funeral must be in September. And I remember, their uncle asking her what granuts and wines and stuff. And when they are discussing some of these things, you as a widow, you don't have much to say,
Mm.
because you say that when the body belongs to the family.
Mm.
That's the culture. So you, even if you have a view, you pass it through somebody. My late husband's friends were very, very supportive. In fact, they were very supportive, and they really stood by me. And so I could confide in them and tell them how, you know how I need things to be done. So they really helped me. But the nuances,
Mm.
from that side wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. And fortunately, the university, the vice chancellor then stood and said that they don't want to have the funeral during school session, and so it must be done before the university reopened
Which
for
was
the academic
September.
for the academic year. Yes,
Okay.
and so they gave us some period within which it must be done. Otherwise, the university cannot be involved. Even that one, some of them started, insulting the vice chancellor. Who is he? He cannot tell them when they should have their funeral, and what they are not even going to allow the body to be at the University of Ghana. They will just take him from here to his village, and all kinds of things. But I kept my cool, and this is a man who has served the University of Ghana for 30 plus years,
Mm.
and has served right from the the lower ranks to the head of the university, vice chancellor. And you tell me that you don't want, his institution to have anything to do with his funeral. So back and forth, we settled on, I think, 18th or thereabout of July.
Mm.
As 9th May, 9th June, one month, and 9th July, 2 months.
Feels bad.
Yes, so I think 2.5 months after. And then we got the green light, to have the funeral.
Mm.
Yeah, but there were initially, you see, I think I would say my advantage was the fact that it didn't happen here in our home. I'm sure if it had happened in our home, I would have been the one who had killed
Mm.
him. He traveled, on an FAO assignment, and passed away in, far away, Mongolia.
Okay.
So at least I wasn't there, so they couldn't say that I have
Okay.
killed him. Mhm.
But apart from his sister trying to delay the funeral,
Mhm.
were there any other problems you encountered with the
No,
family?
initially I didn't see much of it. I didn't see much of it, but I think things were brewing.
Mm.
So after the funeral, I mourned him in black for a whole year, and then when it was time for me to take off my black, that's a year. I made the his uncle, who I saw him as a head. I told him that, oh, the 1 year is coming, and I would want to take off my this on that date.
Mm.
Then one of his the senior most sister, you know sent a message that if I'm a woman, I should come to the village and come and unveil the tomb. And this is a tomb. I have done it. I mean, no, it wasn't done by the family. I went and we did everything with my children. We did everything beautifully because he was buried next to a church he built.
Okay.
So the Catholic Church allowed that he should be buried there. So we did a miniature mausoleum, so to speak, over the grave, beautiful. And we were going to unveil it. He said, "If I'm a woman, should come. She will meet me there. She's in shorts. He's waiting for me there." So I said, "You know what? I'm not going to fight over this. I have been in black for a whole year. I am tired." And so I called the bishop of that area. He was part of the clergy that came to bury. So I called him and informed him that this is what I'm getting. He said, "Nana, don't worry yourself. Go to church at Legon. Go to your church and let the priest do the ritual, widowhood ritual for you and get the black off." So that's what I did. And I got a release, so to speak. And so it was like that. So I hear people say insulting them in the video that this prominent man had died and a year has passed and you cannot celebrate his anniversary, and people were kind of paying making all kinds of comments, and that's kind of shamed them. And so the uncle literally begged me that he begs me I should come so that they could unveil the tomb. So it was in October, when it should have been done in May. It was in October of 2015 that a distant auntie of mine who had also passed around that area her funeral was coming up. So I decided, you know what, let me just use that occasion to go there and join them to unveil. So I didn't actually go inside the village because the church is on the outskirts.
Okay.
So, and it was an early morning mass, 6 o'clock or thereabout. So after mass, as soon as they unveiled, I just sat in my car and came back. I didn't have anything to do with anybody.
I would also want to know, during your marriage, what was your relationship like with this family?
It was cool. I mean, you get a few, a few people showing animosities here and there, but generally, me, I have this mindset that if you're fine with me, I'm also okay with you. If you don't want me as somebody you like, I'll just keep my distance. And that's the kind of relationship I had. You come, I'll serve you. If you visit, I serve you. But I will not sit down to chit chat and you see, they expect you to sit down with them and then maybe tell them about their brother. When he's doing this to me, but I'm not like that. I mean, I can. Why should I come and tell you, things about my husband? I don't do that, so I wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't have much to talk to you about, So you come, whatever you came to do, you do it. I'll feed you. I'll give you a place to sleep, and I'll host you beautifully, and that will be it. But you won't get me to sit down and be chit chatting. That one I won't do it.
What about the children? Did they also experience any kind of from their father's family?
Maybe it will be their story to tell, but I don't know. Their story to tell, what's. I think that's about it. I know they also had their own drama going on there, but I didn't. I wasn't involved. I was handling my own thing in my own small corner. So yeah, to the extent that even the house that we were living in, I mean, like when we went to his village, we lived in his will. He gave his side, like an apartment, a 2-bedroom side, to us. That anytime we got to the village, that's where we should lodge. So this sister who said she was wearing shorts to meet me, I think, took the keys from the caretaker and said, she wasn't going to allow us in there.
even though it was in the will.
Even though it was in the will. So the executor who happened to be his uncle said I should go and change the locks, and I said no. I'm not interested. If she doesn't want us to have that place, she should take it. So the uncle insisted I should go and take my freezer. And I said, Uncle, these items were bought for that particular house. If I go and take them, where am I going to put them? The house that we are living in, we have all those things here. So there's no need. If they want it, they should take everything. So I left it for them.
Did anyone contest the will?
No, nobody.
No one
nobody
contested the will.
contested.
So there were no issues.
No, they didn't contest, but I mean I heard that they didn't feel very good about it. But that's somebody's will. Okay. He decides how he shares his things. So no one, nobody can fault him. But nobody could contest.
Okay. Yeah. So looking at what you went through after your daddy died and after your husband died at the hands of their family, how did that affect your grieving process?
My father's issue was serious.
Okay.
But you see, it gave me that foundation to face my widowhood. Okay. So I was kind of armed, to face whatever anybody brought my way. And I think also by God's grace, because I'm a very prayerful person, and knowing what my mother went through, I was quite alert to anybody coming with any tricks to get me into some widowhood rights or things like that. So I prayed, honestly, I prayed against that. Okay. And literally, they forgot about it. So on the 18th or so, the day of the burial, when the bishop called me forward and said that the church was performing a widowhood rite, and so they blessed a rosary and made me wear it. Okay. Then, according to some people, they heard whispers, why did you forget? That's what some people were telling me, that they heard some whispers that, how did they forget? I mean, somebody who, like that, they thought I had lived life, because my husband was like this. I mean, a big man, their eyes. Why didn't they take the opportunity to punish me? Kind of, why did they let that opportunity slip? But it was too late for them. So nobody could, like in those days when you can come to your bedroom and nobody did that to me. Nobody could do that to me.
What about your own family? Did you get any support from them during this time?
Yes, my family, my family were very supportive. Okay. My mother was very old then, but so we're just on phone and all that, because she reminded me of the fact that she became a widow. I mean, I have become a widow the same age she became a widow and all things like that. So I should take it easy. I should know that if she was able to pass through, I will do fine and all that, something like that. Yeah. But my family were very supportive. My uncle, they were very supportive. My cousins, my siblings, were very, very supportive. Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at the lessons when it comes to, let's start with your daddy's situation. What are some of the lessons that you took from that?
The lessons for me are that one, it's very crucial for people to do their will and indicate how they want their assets to be shared. It's very critical that people do that. 2, we must be careful with this extended family, because even though they may be smiling with you whilst their relative is alive, when he passes, it's a different story. I have learned that one, and so when my late husband passed, it wasn't new to me. Because those who seemingly were cool with you when the person was alive, they are the ones who even hit you harder. So I have learned that. So I think that people should be aware of these things, and as it were, do their things right. Put things in their proper places, because nobody knows when. Nobody knows when.
Nobody knows when. So, Aunt Elizabeth, I would want to find out, as you sit here, what does family mean to you? Because I believe it's because of some of these events that people end up saying family is not who has your blood in them. Having gone through all of this at the hands of people that you called family, what does family mean to you at this moment?
For me, I have two levels of families.
Okay.
The family that we know of as Ebusua is the extended family, and then when it even gets to the in-law extended, it's even a different ball game. Yes, but family, as you rightly said, may not necessarily be blood. There could be some very good friends, and I was telling you about my late husband's friends.
Yes.
They were like family, and they supported. I mean, they really were there for me. They really were there for me, even though they were not blood, relations of his. So the kind of relationship you build with people is very critical.
Okay.
It's very, very critical, and you can have people watching your back who are not necessarily your kith and kin.
Okay.
Yes. So you see, because there is some kind of even filial rivalry, even among siblings. So when especially when one becomes, I don't know, a prominent person, and maybe you're from the same mother, same father, and you didn't end up well. There's this kind of envy and all kinds of things. Yes, but you see, these fingers are all not the same. And nobody understands how God does his things. I have always said that God always places a Joseph in every family. Reuben was the firstborn, but Reuben wasn't prominent. Joseph, the last but one, became prominent. God always gives every family a Joseph. And so when you get a Joseph, treasure that Joseph and don't envy that Joseph. Okay. For me, that's what I would leave with families, because all fingers are not the same. We cannot all be the same. So the Joseph that appears in that family should also be a Joseph to them, like the Joseph in the Bible did to his brothers. He should also be a Joseph to them. Okay. Much as I expect that the others would also respect the Joseph they get in the family.
Okay. So as we are talking about the situation, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there going through it, and many more who are going to go through it. What will you tell them? What words of encouragement do you have for these people?
Oh, those who have gone through these situations, I will just say sorry. I will just say hold on. I will just say I'll just give them my deepest and sincerest condolences. Those who are going to go through them, I will encourage them to know that there's something new under the sun. So they should be strengthened in that fact and just be watchful, in the way they carry their personal affairs, in terms of, in relation to Abusia, in relation to the extended family and all that. Because these days, this extended family system, I don't want to say it is dying. It's not dying out per se, but the nuclear family is becoming stronger because people are getting to know that you really must take care of the micro system before you go to the macro. So the nuclear family system is getting stronger, and as a result, it's weakening the extended family system. And when that happens, the extended family feels threatened. And so some of the things that they do is as a result of this feeling that they've been neglected. But who neglects who? Do you expect that somebody gets married, is having his children, and he should stop looking after his children and come and look after somebody else's children? It can't happen that way. There may be some support that they can give you, but you don't expect that all your burden will be on that person. You see, especially with the women, you go about just getting children from with other so many other men.
Yes.
And you expect your brother to come and take care of all. It doesn't work that way. He also has his responsibility towards his children, his wife and children. So I think we should all learn and do the right thing. For me, that what you think you would not want it somebody to do to you, don't do it to the other person. I think that should be the principle you should operate with.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, Auntie Elizabeth. And I'm glad you found strength in all of this. And thank you for your words of encouragement to others who are going through this. So thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. Like you heard, if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to others. And to the Ebusian out there, please, Ebusian means family. Family means we are one. So let's love each other. Let's support each other. Let's be the support system. Let's be the safe haven that we want others to be for us. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Ikia Boatuma Boachi, and our guest today was Mrs. Elizabeth Asenso Ochre. Thank you. Bye-bye.